Alright, hello guys, how's it going? In today's video, I'm presenting my final update for this major upcoming snowstorm. Now, before I get started with this video though, I would ask that you do subscribe if you do like weather-related content, and also make sure to share this video with your friends, family, and social media. I'd also highly recommend that you check out our very exciting store in the description and the pinned comment down below, and also our very awesome Patreon page that's going to also be in the pinned comment and the description down below. Now, for today's comment of the day, I want to know, where do you think the bullseye is going to set up, and how much snow do you think is going to fall within that bullseye? Let me know in the comments down below, and I'll be picking one of those for tomorrow's video. Now, let's get right into things. We're first off taking a look at our warnings, watches, and advisories, and as you can see, within those kind of purplish colors, we have a winter weather advisory, so those are very widespread, and then also our winter storm warning within those pink shades. That's where the National Weather Service is expecting the worst of the winter storm to occur. Now, let's just go ahead and move on to our simulated radar, and this is going to be by about 8 a.m. today, which might be before you're even watching this video. It'll likely be uploaded around 8 a.m. And we're going to be seeing some snow showers, and then some rain showers, and some ice, freezing rain coming down for North Carolina and Virginia. It's going to be a mess this morning. And as we reach kind of the afternoon hour here, that's when things are really going to start ramping up. So again, you might still be watching this video after this point. But the snow is going to start falling for Virginia, West Virginia, Pennsylvania, Maryland, Ohio, even New Jersey as well, potentially. All right. Now, what we're going to do here is we're going to move on. We're going to move further into the simulated radar on our European model. We're going to take a look at a few other models, and then we're going to just get right into the modeled snowfall guidance, and then our final official snowfall forecast for this one here from Direct Weather. Now, there has been some major changes in the forecast, actually, and one of them is that there's more mixing expected towards the southern extent of that snowfall. And then the other major change is that the northern extent of that heavier snowfall has shifted very far more northward, and we're expecting many more areas to receive a lot more snowfall. So we'll be talking about all of that throughout this video, but taking a look at maybe about 1 a.m. on Thursday here. As you can see, we're receiving some moderate to heavy snowfall for Long Island, New York City, northern Pennsylvania, portions of upstate New York, Connecticut, Rhode Island, and Massachusetts by this point. Still mixing going on for Maryland, southeast Pennsylvania, areas like that. Now let's just move it towards about 12 p.m. on Thursday, which is going to be December 17th, also tomorrow from the time I'm making this video. And most of that moderate to heavy snowfall is going on now for New York, Connecticut, Massachusetts, Rhode Island, Long Island, New Hampshire, Vermont, Maine. And even though we have some of those mixing issues for the more southern areas, they do actually end up with some snowfall at the very end, regardless. So that's going to be the good news for you snow lovers, if that is what you're hoping for. Now what we're going to do is we're going to move on, and we're going to watch the simulated radar according to our RGEM model, my favorite model, and then also the NAM 3KM model, which is not necessarily my favorite model, but it does have a different opinion, so we're going to take a look at that. Then we're going to get into the modeled snowfall guidance, and then again, my official updated final forecast for this storm. Alright, now here we are taking a look at the RGEM model, and we're starting things out by about the afternoon hour of Wednesday, which is today, once more. And as you can see, we do have a lot of that ice going on for Virginia, North Carolina, similar to what the other model was showing us. But we do have that moderate snowfall going on for Ohio, West Virginia, Maryland, Virginia. We see southern Pennsylvania as well. Let's take this to about the early morning hours here. This is maybe... I want to say this is probably about 2 a.m. here on Thursday, December 17th, so the middle of the night, and those yellows are picking up on a lot of sleet there for southeastern Pennsylvania, Maryland, New Jersey, even up through New York City, and really we talked about this yesterday, how this was becoming a bigger and bigger possibility. A lot of that heavier snowfall is going a lot further north than we thought as well. Again, that's a big shift in the forecast for sure. If that is to occur, we'll have to see on my final forecast, but as you can see, by the time we're reaching, this is probably about 9 a.m. here on Thursday. A lot of that heavier snowfall is up there for Vermont, New Hampshire, Maine, which is very interesting. Even Boston. We're seeing rain for southeastern Massachusetts and the eastern tip of Long Island there, because that low pressure center is coming very, very close. Super interesting. We'll have to wait and see if that'll happen. There's huge disagreement coming from all of these models. I just want to warn you. So we're taking everything with a grain of salt, and really this is the least confident I've ever felt in a final snowfall forecast, as the models are still all over the place. Temperatures are a little bit warmer this morning, kind of talking about some nowcast type things. I was looking at the current temperatures compared to what was forecasted from the models. And we are a little bit warmer than what they originally anticipated. So we'll see that on my final snowfall forecast that I did actually take that into consideration. Finally, here's our NAM 3km model, and this is going to be by about Wednesday, kind of like the late, maybe early evening time frame. This is maybe about 6 p.m. or 7 p.m. here on Wednesday, which is today, like I said. A lot of that mixing going on for Virginia, West Virginia, Maryland there, even southern Pennsylvania. A lot of that heavy snowfall going on for central Pennsylvania and surrounding regions. Let's just move it on towards about 1 a.m. tomorrow morning. That's going to be Thursday, December 17th. And as you can see, a lot of that mixing going on for northern Virginia, most of Maryland, southeastern Pennsylvania, northern New Jersey, New York City, Long Island, and even southern New England. This model is certainly thinking the temperatures are going to be much warmer than the other models think. But look at how far north it goes with that heavy snowfall as we move on towards about 8 a.m. here on Thursday. It's all the way up for the Adirondacks, northern Vermont seeing some moderate snowfall, northern New Hampshire. This is certainly the outlier, but we will wait and patiently see if this does occur this way. By the time we're reaching maybe about 6 p.m. here on Thursday, that's going to be, again, December 17th. We see that Maine even gets quite a substantial amount of snowfall as well. Now, what we're going to do here is we're going to move on and take a look at that modeled snowfall guidance from all of these models and more of them in just a moment. All right, now first things first, here is our European model. And I want to just inform you about the color tables. I do this every single video. And if you're in the grays, you're anywhere from about a dusting, if anything. If you're in those blues, you're taking a look at about 2 to 6 inches of snow. If you're in the purples, you're taking a look at about 6 to 9 inches of snow. If you're in the pinks, you're taking a look at about 10 to 20 inches of snow. And if you're in kind of those very teal colors there in northeastern Pennsylvania, according to this model, you're taking a look at about 20 to 30 plus inches of snow. In this case, it's about 20 to 24 inches of snow, maybe approaching 2 feet of snow there in northeastern Pennsylvania. And this is a significant tick north from what we were taking a look at yesterday. Because again, we did expect that a lot of southern areas in Pennsylvania and the more south, I guess just east central Pennsylvania areas would see the heavier snowfall. But now it's northeastern Pennsylvania at this point. Also, Boston taking a look at increased amounts according to our European model, up to a foot of snow there. Let's just move on and take a look at our Canadian model, and this one's even further north. Take a look at that, all the way up through New Hampshire, Vermont, Maine. You can tell how useless these models are at this point because of just how different they are, and the storm is literally going to be underway in about 6 hours, and these models still have no idea. Although, the best thing to do in this type of a scenario is actually use our ensemble models, and a lot of people that know anything about models are probably thinking, well, aren't ensemble models a little bit lower resolution and stuff? The good thing is we're getting multiple opinions put together here. It's really good to get those just multiple opinions and combine them all, and that gives you a better idea of where the track is going to be. So I think this is a much more realistic map overall. I do. This is our European ensemble model, and I think this is a much better thing to look at. Here's that GFS ensemble model, which is also useful at this point. Again, probably more useful than the GFS model by itself at this point. And as you can see, it does have it looks a little more similar to my map I put out yesterday, actually, compared to the European model. Here's our NAM 3km model, which is a bit further north than even the other models. This one would have Philadelphia at about 3 inches, New York City maybe at about 6 inches, and then Boston at about maybe 14 inches of snow. And it has that bullseye all the way from south central Pennsylvania up into northeastern Pennsylvania, and then straight through upstate New York into Vermont and into New Hampshire, and then even coastal Maine. So a very huge northern trend there on that model. And then our high resolution Canadian model here. This is even higher resolution than the RGEM model. We call this the HRDPS model. And this one is also on board with that NAM 3km model. So it's very interesting. The higher resolution the models are, the further north they are, and the lower resolution ones are further south. I don't know exactly what the reasoning is behind that. If anybody knows that, they can let me know in the comments down below because I find that very, very interesting. Either way, I think that the potential for these two high-resolution models to be correct with that very far northern bullseye is certainly possible. I'm not forecasting it at this point, but I want you guys to know that the possibility is there that my forecast will be a little bit off on that northern range because I am siding with more of those ensemble models. But those high-resolution ones might end up being correct, but usually it's those ensemble and our deterministic models that kind of pull through in the end in a situation like this. We'll have to wait and see, though. Now, what I'm going to do in just a moment is present my final official snowfall forecast for this major snowstorm coming up in just a moment. Alright, now here we are taking a look at our dusting to 3-inch region in this white region. Again, this is our updated color table, so let us know what you think of this. And this is going to extend pretty much everywhere. On the southern end, I think it has moved a little bit further north, and also on the northern end there. All the way, pretty much this is covering the entire state of New York and Vermont, most of New Hampshire, and then a lot of Maine as well, where snow showers are going to be able to make their way very, very far north here. Let's just go ahead and add our 3 to 6 inch layer and take a look at how thin that band is down there by Baltimore, DC, Philadelphia, New York. This is truly a boom or bust type scenario because a little bit of an error on my part, if I'm just forecasting it a little bit too far north with that sleet, rain, snow line, then you guys could get significantly more snowfall than I'm calling for. But just as easily as that could happen, I could also be calling for it to be too far south, and then it could be much further north than I'm thinking, and then you guys would get even less snow. So there's a lot of options on the table, and unfortunately, the most uncertain area of this entire forecast is the highest populated area of this forecast as well. Very, very interesting scenario we find ourselves in, and we will just patiently wait and see, like I've been saying throughout this video. Let's go ahead and add our 6 to 10 inch region, and as you can see, this extends from West Virginia through portions of Virginia, Pennsylvania, Maryland, up through New Jersey, Long Island, New York City is in this as well. Connecticut, Rhode Island, Massachusetts, and now even Vermont, New Hampshire, and coastal Maine are included in this 6 to 10 inch region here. Let's add our 10 to 15 inch region. Again, West Virginia up through Virginia, Maryland, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, New York City, you're right on this line, so I'm forecasting you to be anywhere from about 6 to 10 inches of snow. I think it's a very safe bet for you guys. Areas to the north is at 10 to 15 inches of snow. Most of Connecticut, Rhode Island, and Massachusetts are also in that 10 to 15 inch region. Notice the southern coast there of New England. I am calling for you guys to possibly just be in that 6 to 10 inch region. I do think there is the slight possibility we do see some sleet or mixing issues down there for the coastal regions that would kind of limit the amounts there. Now, southern New Hampshire and Vermont, we also see that 10 to 15 inch regions for you guys on the very southern counties of those individual states. All right, now our 15 to 20 inch region here, as you can see, a little bit of West Virginia and Maryland are included in this, but mostly just Pennsylvania and then a bit of New York and northwestern New Jersey as well. They're all included in that 15 to 20 inch region that has shifted a little bit further north, just like everything else on my map here. We even have that 20 to 30 inch region here, and that's going to be for those central regions of Pennsylvania. It's not too far off of what I was calling for yesterday, just a little bit further north. Everything is pretty much shifted just a bit further north, and that's kind of my final tweaks for this forecast. Here's the whole thing put together with the amounts on the screen. Also, I redid that kind of sleet rain issues map here, this kind of extended forecast that shows you where I expect sleet and mixing issues to be possible. Take a look at that arrow I have with the low pressure symbol. That's kind of just indicating that I expect that low pressure center to come very close to these areas. And what happens when we see that is it brings in some warmer air to the middle layers of the atmosphere. So just imagine with me, we see that there's snow in the upper atmosphere, and then there's warmer air in the middle atmosphere, so it melts in the rain. But then on the lower levels, it's below freezing again. So what happens is it goes from snow to raindrop to frozen raindrop, and that's how we get sleet. I hope that makes sense. I wasn't able to kind of like give you guys a visual of that, but hopefully I explained it good enough. Anyway, it's very sad that this is my final update for this storm because it's been a blast. It's been one of the most major snowstorms for the Northeast we've forecasted here from Direct Weather, and I've been doing this for 3 winters in a row now. So it's been a blast. Hopefully we have many, many more big ones like this. It's a lot of fun to forecast and just talk with you guys. Anyway, for today's comment of the day, I asked you guys, how much snowfall do you think individually Philadelphia, New York, and Boston will get? I basically asked you guys your snowfall forecast. And Zeta Derv went with a very safe forecast here and said all 3 places will get 6 to 18 inches of snow. And I definitely agree. The only reason I didn't pick any of the other ones is everybody was kind of overdoing the amounts for New York City, I think. A lot of people were saying 10, 12, 14 inches of snow for New York. And that's not a bad call, but considering I just gave my forecast and I'm forecasting 6 to 10 inches of snow for New York, it'd be a little bit hypocritical of me to pick a comment of the day that has higher amounts than what I'm even forecasting for. Anyway, for today's patron highlight of the day, I want to thank you all for supporting the channel, but especially our platinum patrons, Sebastian Tao, John Benbenick, Justin Quantrell, James Wade, Dovey Nagel, Alan Belemo, Adam S., Larry LePan, Donna Carnes, Cameron Marshall, Aiden Mattis, and then our Diamond patrons, Bill Roberts, Alan Sherry, Marcus Connolly, Noah Harley, Michael Codalessa, Michael Buell, Terry Curtis, Catbite, Charles Stinnett, Kellen Manhart, It's Jay, Cindy Klein, Alicia Davis, and Mark J. Thank you guys so much for supporting the channel. If you would like to be on this Patreon end screen, you can do so by joining our exciting Patreon in the description and the pinned comment down below. Anyway guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Again, be sure to share it with your friends, family, and social media. I will see you guys in the next video.